Nice to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for spending a few minutes with us. We're going to talk a little bit about dual and single pane windows. So I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. What can I tell you?
Well, a couple questions for you that some of our viewers wanted to know. One of which is a lot of misconceptions out there. What is really the basic, simple difference between a single and double pane windows, anyways?
So for the first 100 years of Windows, single pane. All of the frames were built to take a single pane of glass. So all of the structure of the window, all of the body of it, whether it was a wood window or a steel window or an aluminum window, was built to leave basically about 1/8 of an inch of space for a single piece of glass, like that single piece there, to be housed within the frame.
Right.
And whether it was puttied in or whether it was a wood stock, depending on what decade we're talking about, that's how they were built. And then starting in the 80s, but really kind of taking off in the early 90s, they decided that dual pane, energy efficient windows were the way to go. And so they started creating all of the frames with a wider channel that would house this dual pane unit. So now all of the frames are made to have a pocket that it will accept either a 1/2 inch, 7/8, 3/4, or 1 inch dual pane glass unit.
Got it. Now, what's the width? The difference between the outside and inside, or the difference? What's the benefit or the why would they do that?
Noise, energy efficiency, UV blocking, radiant heat blocking. There's not just one reason, there are lots of reasons. But if you're a customer that's looking to keep the heat out of your house, you'd like to put in low E glass, which blocks 86% of the UV coming through your house and causes heat, damages your floors, bleaches your carpets. I've been into houses where people take their pictures off the wall and the paint is one color where the picture wasn't, and it's a different color from behind. That's what the sun does to the inside of your house.
Gotcha. So there's a lot of magic that's going on in that little space right there.
Not only the space, but the different glass options that are available. So the space by itself does one thing. It basically slows down the transfer of hot and cold moving across that space. If you pick up a glass and you have a glass of lemonade and you've got ice, what does it do to your hand? It makes your hand cold.
Absolutely.
Pour a boiling cup of coffee into a glass, pick it up, what happens to your hand? You take it off the glass because it hurts.
Absolutely.
Right? That by itself doesn't do much. The spacer bar is there to stop the transfer of heat and cold. It blocks it and it slows it down.
Now, is the glass makeup different between a single and double pane, or is it really two single pane windows, or two windows of the same variety?
So that's a very good question, and that's optional.
So
if I go back to the existing conversation, typically most windows were built with either a 1/16 of an inch of glass or 1/8 of an inch. So now, within this pocket, we can put the same size pieces of glass, or, for example, if you have an extreme noise problem, if you live close to a freeway or you've got a 3-lane highway going past your house, if we thicken one of the panes of glass more than the other, it does very strange things to the way that noise bounces.
Interesting.
If you make two pieces of glass the same thickness, it actually allows the noise to travel through it better than if you have different thicknesses of glass. So when you do the different thicknesses of glass, you get a better noise reduction.
Interesting. Okay. Great. Thanks. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Why would anybody select single versus double pane window today?
As you can tell from my reaction, I'm searching. I'm searching a 30-year backlog,
grasping for it,
to try and figure out why somebody would do a single pane window. I don't really know.
So I mentioned cost because in my research read that cost might be a factor, but perhaps that's not necessarily true.
Okay, so There are still some wood manufacturers of windows who only make a wood window, 100% wood inside and out, which don't last as long as vinyl, fiberglass, aluminum. You can still get a single pane wood window, right? But for the average people that we deal with and the average homeowner that we deal with, most people are putting in either vinyl or fiberglass windows.
Right.
Vinyl manufacturers of windows don't build a frame for a single pane window.
Oh.
So if you wanted to put a single pane, for whatever reason you could think of, which I can't think of one.
Right.
But if you wanted to put a single pane window into a vinyl window, you'd have to modify the space to be able to block the space to hold that single pane in there, because it's not how they're designed.
Okay.
So it's not, you're not saving money by putting in single pane windows. You're actually modifying a product that's already made dual pane.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming you're not capitalizing all the benefits that double pane windows bring you.
Absolutely
Energy
none.
efficiency.
Absolutely none. I go back to the ice
Right.
lemonade
Sure.
or the hot coffee in a glass. And if you want to know what glass does, it transfers heat and cold very quickly. Having a dual pane with a spacer bar stops that, or slows it down, I should say.
I see. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. How can someone that's not necessarily versed and can look at their windows naturally, how can you easily tell if your home has single or double pane windows?
One of the things that's really ironic about dual pane is that because of the spacer bar and the fact that these pieces of glass are actually adhered to the spacer bar, it makes for a very strong box. If you've ever, gone into your garage when you were a kid with your dad and put 4 pieces of wood together or 8 pieces of wood together to make an actual box, an elephant could stand on it. It's so strong. So when you have just a single pane of glass, you can walk up to it and push on it, and you'll be able to flex it pretty easily.
Right.
When you do that with a dual pane window, a lot less flex. You can actually see the spacer bar
Oh.
if you look.
Okay.
Those are a couple of key ways that you can tell the difference.
Got it. Okay. So it's pretty easy for somebody to take a look at it, know pretty much right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing you could do is have somebody stand on the outside of your window and have a conversation.
Right.
And it'll be really easy.
Oh.
If it's dual pane, a
Right.
lot harder to hear.
Gotcha. Okay. That definitely makes a lot of sense. You've always had some great conversation. You had some great insight. Can you share some Duncan Newman secret sauce with us?
I absolutely can. This is our 30th year of doing replacement windows, dual pane, vinyl, fiberglass windows. That's a lot of windows. These days, with the research that can be done on the internet, people are doing their research by reading what people have put on their websites and thinking that they have all of the answers of what's best for them in their home. The secret sauce for me to share with you is that's not true. Nobody tells you the entire story. So having an expert come to your home, not to your friend's home, not to someone's home in Boston or someone's house in Montana, but somebody to come to your house where you live, with your environment, with your temperatures, with the things that happen in your neighborhood, that is where you find all the secret sauce about what's going to work for your home better than a posted ad or a posted blog or a posted anything on the internet that could have been written in New York.
Right.
And you live in Southern California. You're not getting all of the answers. So, and you wouldn't necessarily know that because if you're not a window expert, you wouldn't necessarily know that what happens in Boston with windows is different than what happens in Southern California. So find out from a local company what is best for your home.
That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today.
My pleasure.
Where can people find you, by the way?
NewmanWindows.com.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
My pleasure.